That's quite an old school door handle, isn't it? We don't see a lot of these on modern cars, and neither do we see quite a lot of French cars on our road. Hello everyone, my name is Ishan and welcome to the Race Monkey. Today we have the Citroen C3, the second model that the brand from France is bringing into India. And it reminds me quite a lot of a croissant. Now, this is a B segment hatchback as what the brand says, and it's not a micro SUV or a pseudo compact SUV that the other brands are running after. This French car needs respect and we are going to give it in full force. So I'm going to talk you through all its quirks and features with my colleague Jatin, who would be driving the turbocharged petrol version of this car, and I'll be driving this 1.2 litre naturally aspirated petrol unit. So let's get around the car, take you on the outside and on the inside, and then just go out for a drive and see if it really is a great small car for your family, and if you as a car enthusiast would really like spending long hours in this one. Let's go. So let's talk about how the Citroen C3 looks. We've got this twin arrow design Citroen logo in the front, which dominates the entire design. There are two chrome angles that are going and are diverting over here, reminding me of Fast and the Furious, where Paul Walker goes away from Vin Diesel. So both of these are LED DRLs and they look quite flamboyant while you're driving, which you'll see right here in the B-rolls that I'm playing right now. Now this car from the front looks like a baby C5, which is quite a brilliant thing because it might just be one of the most beautiful cars in this segment right now. We've got 15-inch steel wheels which have a wheel cap on the top. You don't get alloy wheels on the top of the line trim as well. This is a top of the line model. Alloy wheels are an option, and these steel wheels are shorted to a 195/65 R15 Seat Secura Drive tire. Now on the side we do have again these old school door handles that remind me of the Zen Estilo. We have a keyhole, which I've not seen in a massive amount of years. It's actually quite brilliant. We have this element over here which has a different color in different shades that you opt for. Over here it's black. At the back we have this steep boxy shape, which does remind you that this might be an SUV and not a hatchback. So the entire silhouette from the side, it does look quite macho, and it has these huge muscle lines at the rear and in the front. Now let's get back onto the rear end. Now a sore point that a lot of people have been asking: Ishan, Citroen C3 has missed out on the rear wiper and defogger unit. Yes, I don't understand why they did that. This is a part of a safety feature and it's not a luxury. Citroen should look into this. Now since we're at the back, the boot is quite large. This is the amount of liters that it has. We have all the bags for all three of us. That's Jatin, me and Aryan, who have been traveling in this car for quite a long time. This is Aryan's camera bag. We have our clothes inside. It's quite a good space for these long distance journeys that you might be doing, and still you won't have to remove the parcel shelf, which feels standard quality. Now on the lower end there are no protruding fake exhaust vents. It's a flat area and there are LED lights over here to shine upon your number plate. There is a small area to put in the optional reverse camera. Reverse camera isn't standard in this car. Pretty strange. So overall, the looks of the Citroen C3 are quite brilliant to start off with. I mean, in this subtle shade of grey or silver, it's basically a mixture of grey and silver. It looks quite macho, and for the car at this price point, I think it does great justice to the French flamboyance. Now, because it started raining so bad, I should get inside the driving seat and tell you more about how this car drives. So this 1.2 litre naturally aspirated motor produces 82 horsepower, which is 28 horsepower lower than the 1.2 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol motor that Jatin is driving. But because of the lower curb weight, you don't feel that the engine is acting way too lethargic. Of course, if you have quite a lot of weight, like I have right now, I have 3 people in the car in totality, it would feel a little strained. But when you're driving alone and there is not much weight that's kept inside the car, it can be a very smooth experience. Now, for a 3-cylinder naturally aspirated engine running at normal RPMs, the engine has quite a well balanced NVH situation. Of course, it's not as smooth as the ones in the Volkswagen cars, but for a 3-pot engine, it is very quiet. Now, outright acceleration is not its forte, but if you want to do nice city commutes of very smooth highway journeys where you don't want to poke the car to do triple-digit speeds every now and then, the 1.2 liter naturally aspirated engine makes quite a lot of sense. This one, however, is mated to a 5-speed gearbox instead of the 6-speed gearbox that you get in the 1.2 liter turbocharged petrol engine that Jatin is driving. But with very tall ratios, you don't feel the need of switching gears that often. Like I'm doing 55 to 60 kilometers an hour around the Verna industrial area here in Goa, and I barely find the need to turn to the 5th gear. Now, since we have touched 70 kilometers an hour, we switch to it. The car feels nice and silent. What adds to the entire NVH experience are these suspensions. Citroen makes one of the best suspension setups in the industry, and it was no-brainer for them not to put it in their baby car as well. So the C3 suspension setup is quite brilliant. It soaks up quite a lot of bumps. Although in this naturally aspirated unit, you do feel a bit of stiffness over the one in the 1.2 liter turbo petrol, which is quite weird. Also, with 3 people on board and the luggage in the boot, we are getting a fuel economy figure of about 13.5 to 14 kilometers to the liter. And mind you, we are still within the open roads of the Verna industrial area, and we are not doing highway speeds. We are going up and down the hill with 3 people on board. I think that's quite impressive. On the inside, while you're driving, the Citroen C3 feels very comfortable. I'm 5 feet 8 inches tall, and I have quite a good amount of comfort levels over here in the front seats. I have good amount of shoulder cushioning, great under thigh support, and good side bolstering for my body size. And I am an average sized Indian male, and for that, this car really is a comfortable affair. We are going through quite a lot of bumps, a lot of undulations on the road, and besides the suspension setup on this car, the seats are soaking up a little bit of those jerks as well, which is very brilliant. Now, enough talking about the naturally aspirated engine. I'm sure you will be excited to hear about the 1.2 liter turbocharged petrol motor. Over to Jatin.
Hi, I'm Jatin. This is the Citroen C3 with the 1.2 PureTech 110 bhp turbo petrol engine. Let's get behind the wheel and see how it is. This 1.2 liter 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine produces 110 bhp with 190 Nm of torque. This is mated to a 6-speed manual transmission, and what a joy it is to use, and the engine is too good to drive. there is virtually no lag. It just goes, and the second and the third gear on this transmission are so long. We are wondering why is it a 6-speed manual transmission to start off with. But coming back to the main point, currently we are in 6th gear at about 68 kilometers an hour. We are cruising down, and let's punch it. And zero lag, going, and we are at 120 and still lots left to give in the same gear. Only grouse in regards to engine and performance is the second gear can be tuned a little bit more better for picking up from standstill or slow moving space. But now coming to ride and handling, well, we have some set of twisties. Let's see how this thing goes. And I would say it's too good for the car of its category and its segment. It handles well, corners well. Mid corner handling is too good, along with handling the potholes around mid corners, and it's very planted. Citroen has truly prioritized mechanical and chassis balance over fidgety gadgets and screens and other non-necessary accessories. That's truly remarkable for a company of this day and age, which are more focused on electronics and touchscreens than anything else. Coming to the ride quality and the ride comfort and suspension. To describe it, I would just say in one word, wow. Absolutely wow. Considering the category of the car, it punches at least 2 to 3 segments above its weight. The handling and the suspension is too good for its category. Considering currently we're traveling on virtually no roads with nothing but pebbles and potholes and whatever you can throw at it, and there is hardly anything coming inside the cabin. Road noise also is pretty controlled for this car. It's truly amazing for its category and for the price point it may come out at. So driving this car on the narrow streets of Goa, engine is very responsive, but the car needs to be in proper gears for it to work properly. Clutch is very light, gearbox is very responsive, the throws are good, it's not too long, it's not too short, the distance between 2 gates is also just about right. Steering has a very good feedback to it and is very lively and is in general very responsive. Overall a very good in-city car, and suspension, like said before, is just too good. Handles curves, handles potholes, handles bumps, handles no road, and some balloons also without any problems.
Dude, the interiors are quite spacious and brilliant. I like this dotted dashboard panel on the top.
I like the AC vents, the way they have designed it.
Pretty much.
Pretty quirky, but pretty stylish at the same time.
You haven't driven the C5, no?
No, I have not.
This looks very much like the C5. Actually, it's more modern than the C5.
Lot of cubby holes everywhere. Good space to store our phones out
I'm
here.
sleeping in the back. Are you comfortable?
Yes.
Kitna?
Lord.
So what's the best part you like about this interior, Jatin?
It's simple, minimalistic, to the point, correct. Nothing more, nothing fancy.
Why?
To the point, correct.
Why is this touchscreen in my face? It's so big. It's fucking
No, it is not.
10 inches.
Yeah, it's a big touchscreen, but it doesn't obstruct your view. That's the really good part about it.
But the oxymoron is we have a massive 10-inch touchscreen and the instrument cluster is looking like it's from 1998.
But it is very crystal clear to read.
It doesn't have a tachometer.
No, sadly misses a tachometer. It doesn't even have electrically adjustable side view mirrors. That doesn't even have a day and night mirror.
I think even my neighbor's kids would break this stem for the rear mirror adjustment. So what else? I love the seats.
I'm 6'2". I'm very comfortable on the seats.
I'm 5 feet 8 inches tall, and I have.
You are midget. Thank you for letting everyone
5
know.
feet 8 inches tall is the average adult male size in
That's
India.
an average adult, poor adult size. Okay, you didn't have enough Complan back in the day.
That's gonna hurt. But I like the underthigh support on this.
Oh yes,
I'm
the
very
underthigh support is too good. I like the wire managers which they have given around the EC vents to just manage all
I
your
did not
wires.
notice this, dude.
Just to manage all your big wires
That's a
and
wire
to
man.
avoid clumsiness of the phone charging
We have a
cables as
manager
well.
for the wires.
Yes.
How much do they charge? Anyway.
They have a dedicated slot even given you for to attach your phone stand or something like that.
Oh, that's actually quite smart.
Yeah. So a lot of smart, small, nifty features here and there.
Now, my biggest gripe as a passenger is Jatin drives quite like a hooligan. And there is no rather handle for me to just try to save my life from getting a
Not
heart attack.
nitpicking here, but they have given a provision for the tweeters to be fitted on the A-pillars.
Yeah, man.
But there are no tweeters inside.
I think if I poke too hard into this, I'll get my fingers inside, and then you can see the.
Ishan, stop putting your fingers in everything.
Okay, so yeah, I mean overall everything's nice. I don't understand why would they give the power window switches for the rear passengers in the middle of a hill. It feels very much like a Scorpio or a Jeep Wrangler where the doors are detachable. But
Or the old Palio. The switches were here.
FCA. Homeboys. So yeah, I mean
The glove box is pretty good. Can hold up to good amount of stuff inside it.
it can actually carry
Like we are carrying right now, couple of bits of we are carrying a gimbal, medical kits, papers of the car.
you can actually carry your brain also.
No, actually your brain. Yeah, but whatever.
Actually both have brains. It's massive.
The AC is a chiller on this car.
It's actually very strong. Aryan's fast asleep at the back seat. He is really comfortable in the back seat. This interior is massively impressive. It's brilliant. It's sophisticated. The most positive thing about this interior is the amount of cubby space that it has. It's a big bottle holder, cup holders. You've got massive cubby in the front of the cup holder. Then there's a phone holder. There's a massive cubby over here where you can keep your knickknacks. The gearbox is nice and chunky to hold.
Oh, they have given a proper space to put our idols also here on the dashboard.
The interiors of the Citroen C3 are quite comfortable and ooze practicality. But there are a few nicks that you should take notice of. Jatin is 6 feet 2 inches tall, and for a body size of his, there is quite a lot of space in the front cabin. There is good amount of headroom, which is quite a rare sight in the car of this category. At the back, two large size adults have good amount of space with great shoulder room, but if you're 6 feet plus, there is going to be a lack of headroom, as you can see here, with Jatin not feeling very comfortable at the back. And if you add a third passenger, the space becomes a little too cumbersome, and it can be a very tight road trip for you. In the back seat, the rails of the front seat do protrude into your foot space, which can injure your foot if you're not wearing proper shoes. There is no glass covering for the instrument cluster, and you can damage it quite easily. So the Citroen C3, it is quite a brilliant car. Well engineered, well designed, and it is going to attract quite a lot of Indian consumers day in, day out. But there are two different opinions on both the engine options. I drove the naturally aspirated one quite vigorously, and I think it's a nice, functional, practical car for daily usability, majorly in the city. It's not something that would entice the car enthusiast in you, but if you are a person with a family and want to do daily runabouts without any fuss and good fuel economy, this is the one to go. But now Jatin would give you the full review about the 1.2 turbocharged petrol engine. Jatin.
So, coming to the 1.2 turbocharged 110 bhp engine, well, it is a Jekyll and a Hyde, I would say. If you drive it soberly and if you drive it with peace of mind, it will easily give you fuel efficiency which can beat the naturally aspirated engine. But at the same time, you put your foot down, and oh my god, it just goes on and on and on like no one's before. So if you can afford the turbo petrol variant, once the pricings come out, then I would suggest to go for the turbo petrol, because it can very well do the occasional highway trips as well as the city running without a stress.
So with that, we come to the conclusion, Citroen C3 is actually a great car. The way it's packaged, the way it's been put together, and with Citroen's amazing after-sales package, it surely is going to attract quite a lot of eyeballs. And just look at it. It just looks so young, so attractive, and unlike any other car in its segment. With that, I thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit our website TheRaceMonkey.com for more such reviews. If your friends want to buy this car, do share this video with them as well, and let us know what you think about the Citroen C3 in the comments below. And with that, I say a goodbye to you. Please wear your helmets and your seatbelts.